Their fates entwined once again, briefly separated by horror, brought back together by a mutual willing to survive. The disaster is getting worse. First it was merely zombies and rotten dogs, then mutant lickers appear, and now they've learned the most powerful hunter is searching for them. The will to survive is strong, but there is hope the survival is weakening. Let's get to the clock tower. It's on the other side of the station. We could go this way, but the door is sealed from the other side. We'll have to find another way around. Come on, Leon said, gesturing to Claire to follow him, as he left the storage room and went outside onto the roof. Rain poured down on them like bullets. A huge storm was amassing on them as they were in black clouds, occasionally broken by specks of moonlight and lightning strikes. Here, get in my jacket, Luna, Claire offered the cat, and we would slip inside just to get out of the rain. Shit, it's pouring out here now. It was steady not too long ago. Yeah, it's almost like nature itself knows the city's gone to hell, Leon muttered, completely unaware that indeed some shadowy figures above were watching. He let Claire climb down the ladder up to the roof below first arguing that he would make sure nothing followed them. As if he began to climb down, his additional weight buckled it and the ladder collapsed on him. He fell about 6 to 8 feet and landed hard on his shoulder, narrowly missed being hit by metal bars breaking off the wall. Leon, are you alright? Both Claire and Luna said as the brunette rushed over to him to help him up. Yeah, I'm fine. Whacked my shoulder pretty hard, but I don't think it's broken or anything. He rolled his shoulder and winced, trying to wean off the pain. Guess we're not going back that way. We'll have to find another way to get up if we do, Claire replied, as Luna got back into Claire's jacket to keep warm. Let's keep going. They all could tell from the burning helicopter had smashed through the wall earlier, and they weren't getting up through the hall back of the station without somehow putting the fire out. There was a burst pipe of water that remains above it, but the flow was being directed to the wrong pipe. If they redirected the flow, they could use their town supply to douse the flames. Leon recalled that being a shed nearby where the water system was maintained. Is there something we could do to redirect this water so we could put out the fire? I may be Mars' vessel, but I'm not that strong to put out those flames, Claire said. I remember that the water station supply is merged by machinery in the shed around the corner down there. Leon pointed towards a small building just below the helipad. Just below, follow the pipes. There's a redirection system down that would be able to use. Good, Claire offered, before following Leon down the stairs and towards the shed, also putting some zombies down the way, and the headshots from the gun. The pipes had led into the building itself, but the door was boarded up, and something was banging on it from the inside. Man, trouble. Be careful, Leon warned as they approached the boarded door. A few feet from it, the few boards split and the doors burst open, and a large group of zombies flooded out from within, falling within reach in each other and rolling towards them. Looks like a fight, Leon said loudly, pumping his shotgun. Here, let me help you. I grant you the fire of power. With the charm of peeling, you and your weapons shoot flames, Ray shouted, passing by a glow of orange ball light from Claire's hand to Leon's weapon, and when he pulled the trigger, a breath of flame spread out from its barrel, releasing the flaming pellets to the zombie group, lighting them on fire as well as blowing some of the zombies in half. Holy shit, dragon's breath shells! He's gonna start a human barbecue! Leon chuckled to himself as he fought the undead, eventually creating a fiery explosion with the shotgun shell, launched from his gun and several zombies to pop like balloons. Woo! You can't burn me! I'm already on fire! Leon laughed as he amused himself. It's like watching a little kid with his new toy on Christmas, Claire muttered to amusement to Ray, who was giggling as well. I think Usagi's gotten a bit further with this on his head than he thought. Wow, burn, baby! Teach you to mess with us, you undead jerks! Usagi was heard crackling with Leon. Oh dear. Claire could almost hear Ray facepalming at Usagi's childlike behavior. Claire snorted in her hand as she tried not to laugh, but she couldn't help it. Then again, considering the situation they're in, they needed some laughter, and well, you should do that more often, Ray. This is like shooting zombies back at the Royal Crown Arcade back at home. Roast more of them, Leon. I'm up for undead barbecue. Usagi laughed. I think we have killed them all, and I'm out of shells. Leon stopped as flatly stated, swinging over his shoulder for now. All around the area was flaming a bit of zombie. Usagi had clearly too much fun. Hopefully he would not need ammo later. Well, at least it worked, Clara struggled to him, and a little more on her lips. Now let's get the water going and put that fire out. On the inside of the shed, there were two rooms. The initial room contained the machinery, and the other room was a small office with a whiteboard on the wall. Someone had tapped a key onto the whiteboard with a message that read, "Lost the key?" Leon picked it up and examined it. It had a club-shaped handle. Interesting. Might be able to use it, he said to himself. Meanwhile, Claire was in the machine room next door, examining the large power system on the wall. Apparently it was the water flow control system. Several lights were blinking. Red lights indicated inactive or damaged areas, and the green lights indicated the areas that were active and running. Leon came over and looked at it with her. Looks like we need to redirect the water flow by switching on the power pins so the path to the upper level is all green. Alright, want to help me with that? Claire asked, because I have no idea how this works. Luna, meanwhile, hopped out of the Claire's jacket and into a table bar near them, shaking herself from being her brief outing in the rain. Let's hope we won't have any more unexpected guests while you two figure it out. Leon gently ushered Claire out of the way as he began to fiddle with the system, removing and replacing the pins that try to work out and make their redirection work. After a few moments, he managed to get the line running out to the upper level all green. There, the water level is now flowing the upper pipes. There is a lever up there we can use. It should pump the water through the broken pipe and put out the fire. Cool, let's reroute it and put out the fire before the whole station goes up in flames. Claire nodded before heading back outside with Leon and Luna. This time Luna jumped onto Leon's jacket and curled up. Back on the helipad, Leon used the valve lever to open up the pipeways and pump water into the helicopter. A flood of liquid washed out through the broken pipe and drowned the flames, turning the steam and hissing loudly. Now, if there's anything we could push the wreckage out of the way, we can get back to the station. Good, now we're getting somewhere. Claire grinned as the two headed back inside and tried to remove the wrecked helicopter. However, as they approached the steamy wreck, a large hand in a black glove reached under it and pushed it up, shoving the broken cab into the wall, revealing that it was the giant humanoid creature with wrinkled gray skin, wearing black boots, large green overcoat, and a brown hat. Oh shit, Leon cursed, realizing quickly that thing was exactly what Claire's premonition had warned them of. Oh crap, it's the thing I saw in Ray's vision, Claire exclaimed. We need to do something about this thing. If he's allowed to run rampant in the station, nowhere is going to be safe, Ray urged. Leon groaned loudly. I wasted all my shells on those damn zombies. Our handguns aren't going to cut it. Claire, try your grenade launcher. Quickly! As the trench coat thing began to walk slowly towards them, Claire quickly reloaded the explosive shell and put it into the blank of it. Take this! The resulting explosion blew her back into Leon, sending them both sprawling on the ground. The gray creature was pushed back by the blast, but appeared to be uninjured. It seemed to be slightly annoyed that it lost its hat. What? That thing looks blasted like it nothing? Luna gasped. It started silently walking towards them, not saying a word, as even if it could talk, they didn't know what they would do or want to stick around to find out. As they slowly got back on their feet, the creature was upon them in an attempt to smash them into the wooden floorboards. They both rolled out of the way and quickly got up and slowly recovered. The humanoid beast didn't seem to have very fast reflexes. Claire, run! Leon warned her as he turned around and stomped at them after them. Claire quickly followed, wanting to get away from that thing. But she had an idea in her mind. The hallways were too narrow to fight back properly. Leon, idea! Follow me! She said, grabbing his wrist and began to book it for the main hall. Forget it, he said, pulling his arms away. Let's split up. It can follow both of us at once. So I'll go this way and you head downstairs, and you go that way and I'll try to lure him out from you. He tossed the panel to what he had to her. Here, get going and I'll try to meet up with you later. Move! He shouted, pushing her out of the way as the large creature swung after them, its fist slamming against the wall. Claire rolled away and booked it back towards the main hall. To her horror, the whole thing began to follow her instead, having one that attacked it earlier. "That's right, follow that firebird," she muttered, and burst into the main hall on the second floor and hurried down the stairs. "Come on, asshole," she barked over her shoulder. "You thinking what I'm thinking?" "Hell yeah," Claire nodded. "Time for some serious firepower." Getting to the open area of the hall, Claire skidded to a stop. "You're not taking another life in this place. Time to send you back into burnt pieces," raising her stick. "Mars power!" A bright red flash would erupt from the rod, blinding the creature for a moment as Claire transformed for the first time. The light vanished. Claire now stood, her hair loose from its ponytail. She now also had a good gold tiara on her forehead, along with being the red tiara stone in front. She now wore a white sailor leotard, and the color of the sailor uniform is red, with a single white lining to match up with the red skirt, a black back bow, and matching red high heels. Her front bow was purple, and with a red round gem in the center, and it was accessorized with dangling red stars earrings on each side of her earlobe, and white gloves with red linings. But her form was imperfect and didn't completely resemble Ray. With some Claire's hair color and facial features still bleeding through, however, she felt that she had enough power to kill the creature. Charging up with some magic once more, her hands went ablaze as she called out her signature spell once more. "Mars Fire Ignite!" Ray's voice emitted from the small but powerful attack shot from her hands to the force of the flames. The trenchcoat monster was too close to avoid the blast, and it struck it head on, causing a fiery explosion. But the smoke cleared. Both Ray and Claire shocked. The creature was barely harmed, aside from the impossible burn on the side of its face. "What? You've got to be kidding me! It's barely hurt!" The gunshots then ran out several bullets, pierced the back of the monster's trenchcoat and above. In the shadows, those in the third floor balcony, in a perfect Sailor Mars could just make out the figure to be a woman with jet black hair pointing down towards them. "What are you waiting for, you idiot? Get out of here!" she called down to her. The monster then turned and looked up at the woman, its attention diverted to the one that attacked her last. This provided an opportunity to escape. Mars nodded before darting out in the hall, glad to have a momentary distraction. But did the stranger see her transform? Listening closely with her ear at the door, she heard the creature stomping away up the stairs, presumably to chase its new target. The loud, heavy footsteps became more distant as they traveled away from her. "Phew, that was close. But that thing just took my attack without a flinch," Claire panted, as she leaned against the wall, catching her breath. "It is definitely like nothing I've ever faced before. One of Umbrella's projects, I assume. The letters we got from Iron said they were experimenting, and they were producing bioweapons? If so, that creature is likely one of them." "Yeah, and that coat of his, it's gonna be how he's been able to take my flame attack full on without getting singed. Fireproof materials, we can only assume, likely bulletproof too. If Umbrella were aware that the RPT would try and stop these creatures, its head is exposed enough. Maybe it might be the only weak point." "So the next time we see it, we know where to target," Claire nodded, before she happened to look down at the puddle of her feet, now finally seeing her new form. "Whoa, so this is us?" She breathed in awe as she did a twirl, looking herself over. "Wow." "Don't get too excited. It wasn't a perfect fusion. I wasn't able to fully manifest in my powers that were still inaccessible to you. This fusion won't last much longer. The amount of time we spent in my form is directly affected by our bond. It's strong, but not strong enough to maintain a full transformation on her first try." As predicted, Claire began to watch as a particle fusion melted away, returning her to her usual appearance within a flash of red and once more. Guess they needed to spend more time together to be able to achieve the perfect fusion. Still, it got us away from that bastard, and whatever helped us, I just hope they're alright. That's what I was going to say next. That woman distracted, could it be Ida? That the one that Leon told us about earlier? It must have been. I don't know anyone else that could be in this station besides myself and Leon. If it was Ida, I owed her a little thanks for helping us out. And now, then, she then turned to look at their part of her pouch. "We need to finish this so we can find Leon again." "Right, Leon said that there was another one in the clock tower, but we can't get there until we find a jacket handle to remove the bookcases in the library." Let's use a key you got from Iron's room and see if we can use to find one. You got it, and Ray? Claire smiled at her partner. Thanks. You're a good partner, and I know we can do this. I appreciate the kind words. I can only pray that Leon is having the same luck as Usagi. I hope so. Now that I think of it, and the stories you told me about your friend, I think Leon is indeed a perfect fit. Leon just needs to accept her, and two need to get on the same page. Leon was not the best pleased when the gray monster chased after Claire. He wanted to follow, but Usagi convinced him not to. The bastard was focused on one that attacked him, and if it followed Claire, that would give them an easy time who needed to formulate a plan attack. Fine, but we need to work something out fast. I'm out of power rounds, and my handgun won't put a dent in that trench coat. We need something stronger to fight it and help Claire, he replied, annoyed that they were just going to run away, at least for now. I know you don't like it, Leon, but Ray's a strong girl. She'll be able to keep Claire safe. Besides, that girl is stubborn as Letta, I swear. Hey, don't talk about Claire like that. She's a better partner than you have been so far, he retaliated with an insult. I wasn't talking about Claire, Leon. I was talking about Ray. To prove Usagi's point, though, in the distance, Leon faintly heard Mars power as Claire's voice echoed upwards. I guess you were right. If Ray knows what she's doing, then maybe Claire can take care of herself, he said after a moment of silence. Sorry for insulting you. I thought you were insulting Claire. I wasn't really paying attention to what you said, he added quickly, somewhat embarrassed with himself, so a little peeved. His annoyance wasn't directed against Usagi, though. It's alright. Not the first time I've insulted by anybody, Usagi replied with a small sigh. I guess from all the teasing Ray and the other comments from my so-called boyfriend Mamoru, I just gotten used to it. Still, it's not fair for me to blame everything on you. You're just trying to help, and I respect that, he answered with a frown. I appreciate that, Leon. I hope we can be good partners till the end of this. Maybe if we survive first, he stated bluntly, almost as if he didn't believe in much of the chance of making out. Anyway, we should go. I got this key, and I want to see where we can go with it. Alright, lead the way, Leon. I'll do my best to keep yourself safe, Usagi encouraged him, the brooch on his belt shining dimly for a moment to show her confidence. Within the time nexus after leaving Raccoon City, Stetsona had called Chris away so he could train with his new powers, so he was introduced to her at home and shown around the halls of time. Stetsona then saw the awe in his eyes and took what he truly in for a new soldier of time. He had yet to meet her own father, but there was time for that yet. So these are the halls of time. Impressive. I've never seen anything like this before. It's quite astounding. But why hide it from something like this here? No one will ever get to see any of this. It just seems a waste of time to build something beautiful, for it to be viewed in the marvel that is. Because these halls must never be tainted. Time is scared, but yet fragile entity. If one ill intrusion were to find their way somehow into these hallowed grounds, it would spell disaster for many timelines. Past, present, and future would be severely affected, even collapse, Pluto replied as she walked within him. But you are different, Chris. I have seen great potential in you, and so has my father. We both believe we could trust you with this secret. Still, what a waste of potential. Why build this for nothing? It's clearly more than two of you will ever need. Waste of resources, he muttered, unimpressed with her answer. She and Kronos did not see anything output, as far as Chris was concerned. That was then when they heard clicking off the staff of a nearby footsteps as tall, weazened old man would appear through the mist. There were more flowing dark maroon robes with silver trimmings on the back of the large hourglass symbol. He had a piercing silver eyes that seemed to stare into Chris's soul. Pluto smiled instantly, fell on one knee, head bowed. Father Kronos, old father of time, here he is, less impressive than I expected, considering all of his surroundings, us. So you are Setsona's dad. I don't see any resemblance. She must have get the looks from her mother. Chris crossed her arms and grinned. Pluto still felt herself blush at the little comment. Indeed, this is my father Kronos. And this is so where your goddess of time, Lucia, gets her own power, for he is her patron. That seems highly unlikely. Celia and the Council of Six have no realizations of human gods. They're not even real gods themselves, merely elves of immense power far beyond of that of any human. Celia herself could tell you that, Chris replied curtly. Correct. However, she and her daughters are subject to our laws and regulations. We created the magic we feed off of, and existed before they came to Earth. Before they came to my world, here in my time nexus, I control everything. Existence in life is allowed because I allowed it. There is no such thing as good or evil, or light or darkness, Christopher Redfield. There is only power and balance. Light is the goddess of power, and dark is the shadow of evil. There must be anyways a balance between the two. One side can never be allowed to gain ground over another. It is a war that is never ending, and that never end. Peace is a lie, for all such thing is an eternal calm. My daughter, and now extending yourself, are the words that are called my handholds. You are the balance of two sides. When one side goes too far, you are the blade that cuts them down. That is your duty, and that is the task you have been chosen for. You, Christopher Redfield, are my warrior of light. Even you must be given into the dark side occasionally. So you are granted with the power to perform, and that which you may done. Regardless of your personal feelings, death is part of life. The passage of time leads from one birth through life. There an eventual end in death. It is the way. I am Titan of time, and I am the enemy of life, and the time is enemy you cannot defeat. Pluto smiled and listened for her father's words. She always loved it when he gave out the wisdom. When he looked over to Chris, who was shunned as he through the woods, seemed to resonate within his soul and heart. Then she saw him in the school with his expression back towards of calm. Pretty impressive speech. Sounds like a little rehearsed though. How many times have you spoken the same words to potential timekeepers? Thousands? Hundreds of thousands? Perhaps it might be so many times as you do not remember, old man, Chris stated, smirking at the robbed man. Pluto's eyes widened in shock of what he said. Christopher! She gasped as he had listened to her father's words, and that was his reply? You was crazy insulting them? Father, only to be cut off when she heard her father chuckled a bit. Bold words, Christopher. Attempting to insult me, darling, aren't we? Nah, I just wanted to see if I could piss you off. Your patience is said to be legendary. The fact is you haven't smited me for my comments says a great deal of validity of those claims, Chris answered respectfully. He was testing his patience? Pluto blinked at this. Indeed, she picked up an interesting person to bond with. Her father seemed impressed by him. My daughter picked a worthy bondmate. It amuses me that we're mere human believes, and she might be rising through simple words. I have existed since the beginning of time. To lose my temper over the mere words would be unfavorable. You are the bold one to admit it, but your efforts are fruitless. If I wanted to punish you, you would have to forget that and believe that. Pluto breathed in a double sigh of relief. Sometimes her bondmate scared her. When he had started the insults, she feared he might push a bit far. She was happy to see her fears were unfounded. You truly surprise me, Christopher, she said. Setsona, must you expect the worst of everything? I am growing quite tired of your far exposure. Try to relax for once in your long spiritual existence. My dearest child, you really need to get laid. At Pluto's jaw dropped at this, Kronos let out a lowing laugh. Ah, the sayings of a human never cease to amuse me. Father, she stuttered, unbelieving what she just heard. Chris snickered smugly at the soldier of time, and she turned pink and began huffing in embarrassment. Even your old man thinks you're wound up way too tight. Somebody needs to pop their cherry once in a while. Might get rid of the annoy of that complex you sometimes do. Pluto couldn't even think of a response, but only to stand there blushing in embarrassment. In all her years, she never thought she would have a bondmaid manage to make her father laugh and also poke fun at her. For the first time for everything, she supposed, but eventually she felt her lips curl into a smile before giggling, and soon she joined in her laughter. Looks like you want to say something about that. You'll have to give me a moment. I won't be able to hear you at the sound of dragging enormous balls around. Chris snickered again, causing another round of laughter from Kronos. Setsona facepalmed as she tried to stifle her own laughter. Christopher, she snickered. You're giving my father ideas. Stop it. I'm sorry, what was that? Can't you hear over the clanking of balls of steel? He retorted with a chuckle. Soon the three were lost in laughter for a good while. Finally 10 minutes. They calmed down and given a large form. Now he, both Chris and Setsona, on his knees like children, with their grandfather as he now sat upon his throne. So tell me, Christopher, what exactly makes you think Setsona is a superior to Usagi? Kronos asked him. Well, unlike Usagi, Setsuna's balls dropped about maybe a few thousand years ago, he grinned, referring to Sailor to rather childish behavior at tries. And a level of maturity, sensibility, and skill, it's clear to me that Setsuna would make a far better leader. Granted, Usagi is powerful and always in the point of what it counts, but she doesn't have the maturity it takes to be a true leader. She's too childish and can't command it when she should, and acts like a child whenever she's criticized. Thankfully, she has found someone that can help her mature. Observe. Setsuna snapped his fingers. With the form of the window before them, it would show Leon running through the halls of RPD, with the silhouette of Usagi running beside him. Recognize him? Officer Kennedy. I heard he graduated from the police academy. Poor bastard has no idea what he's in for. And he's not alone, Setsuna waved over the mirror. To his shock, there was Claire, running down the hall with the silhouette of Ray at her side. What the hell is she doing in Raccoon? I told her to stay in college and not to follow me. I especially made her swear that she should finish her studies. Damn it, Claire, what the fuck do you think you're doing? You stupid idiot? Claire fumed upon recognizing his sister's image. God damn it, Claire. You're going to be the death of me one day. Give your sister a break, Christopher. She went to Raccoon to look for you. She's hearing rumors that Stars had vanished 2 months prior. She's worried about something that happened to you. And being Redfield, she isn't the one to sit on her ass like a good girl and leave her brother behind. You may not appreciate her presence, but she went there for you, Lord Kronos stated, his words having a slightly calming effect on Chris. Sigh, alright. Fine, I'll cut her some slack. If she really is worried about me then, I can't be mad at her. I just hope nothing bad happens to her as a result. I never forgive myself. And don't forget that she has Ray looking after her now. The two have been quite a team so far by the looks of it. Setsuna nodded towards the mirror once more, watching Claire roasted a few more zombies with her fire magic. And even so, my sister is barely more than a child anymore. I don't want her getting involved in this. That's why I didn't tell her what I was doing. I wanted to keep her safe. A lot of good and Dad did me. Chris sighed again. Setsuna patted her bondmate's shoulder in comfort. It'll be all right. I have faith in your sister and faith in Ray in getting her through this. For now, all we can do is observe. Back with Leon and his unfortunate bondmate Usagi, they had somehow gathered the attention of the giant BOW again, who apparently had lost interest in its former quality. Well, that's just great. I can hear that big bad bitch lumbering around nearby, Leon grumbled, rolling his eyes at the sounds of heavy footsteps. Let's hope we don't run into it anytime soon. I don't think I have the strength to make it back off. I just hope Claire and Ray are alright, Usagi replied with a worried tone. Speak for yourself. I have a shotgun, Leon smirked to himself, holding a few shells in anticipation of meeting said overcoated bastard. Usagi smiled, seeing his confidence. This is one of the reasons why she chose him. He had the calmness of potential leader, and maybe with time, the two can be a pretty powerful force. It was when Luna came darting around the corner, followed by the skittering sounds of the two lickers pursuing her. Leon, look out! Luna hollered as she darted behind him. What the hell are those? More than a weird thing upstairs? Just great, Leon cursed loudly, and pumped a few shells into the lead licker, causing it to lose its balance and flip over, to which one blind behind it crashed and flipped over. With both of them on their backs, their chests exploded. Leon sheathed with his knife and stabbed the first one in the heart. Another one managed to flip back up on its front and prepared to leap at him. claws outstretched and aiming for his head. Not a chance, you fuck, Usagi yelled in Leon's head, the brush from his belt activating, releasing a powerful energy that blasted the liquor away, sending it slamming to a wall. Leon whistled. Remind me not to get on your bad side. Like I said, I'm here to protect you. I know you may not see me as an identical partner, but I want to prove to you that I am, even if I'm just a spirit inside the silver crystal. He didn't reply, merely uttering a grunt of some respect. Why have chase a cat anyway? Not much meat on them, he said, changing the subject abruptly. Claire and I were on our way to the clock tower when a few of those lickers ambushed us. I tried to help them split up. I'm sorry, Leon, Luna panted, now able to catch her breath. Great. More bullshit to deal with, in addition to that big, ugly monster. I thought I spotted near the library. Whoever helped Claire out lured it away from us while we made our escape, Luna said, as she hopped into his shoulder and clung on. Probably Ida or whoever she is. Wonder what she's up to. Seems unlikely the FBI would send a single agent to investigate something like this, Leon muttered, kicking a dead licker as she made his way into the main hall. Her behavior seemed rather shifty when we first met her. I don't think she's with the FBI at all. Whatever she's working for, she is definitely here for another reason. Question is, what is it? Luna wondered. Something that she'll probably have to silence us for, or some shit like that. But maybe I've seen too many shitty horror films. If she does try to hurt you, I'll make you regret it, Usagi barked. Won't need you for that. I got my big buddy here if she tries to fuck around. Then she'll find out, Leon said, examining the light hawk he picked up. And the Thunderbolt doesn't play games. Luna smiled a bit while Usagi mischievously giggled at what he said. Yeah, that woman had found out what happens when she tries to mess with her bondmate. And what she did to the liquor will be nothing what the Leon could do to her if she makes him mad. Soft footsteps would break the silence, cause Leon to turn around, revealing the very person that was speaking, walking out of the shadows. Well, speak of the devil, she is bound to appear. Nice to join us, Ida. Where you have been? Leon questioned, annoyed that she had vanished after speaking to Ben. I heard a loud racket coming from up there, and decided to check it out. Looks like you've handled it. Question is, what are you still doing here? I thought you'd be out of here by now, Ida replied, crossing her arms. That's so? I remember somebody told me that we talked once I find a way out. Just happens that I do have one. So your move, Ida, Leon retorted, not about to take Ida's tone lightly. Ida said nothing for a moment, perking an eyebrow. Really? Then lead the way, Leon, if you know where it is, like you claim. He held up a hand to stop her. Not so fast, as I've said before a way out. I didn't say I had the means to open it. Yet this was both ways, Ida. If you expect me to help you, then you owe me something in return. We get to live where you get to live. Unless you have some fancy fighting that big bastard yourself, in which case good luck, 'cause you're gonna need it. He then turned around and walked off, leaving her standing alone this time around. Two could play that game. What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Ms. Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please, stay pretty.